All right, cool, great. And we're live. Well, live with myself. I'm very excited for this because I have been wanting to replay Remake for years. Now, my 5-year-old daughter finished Final Fantasy VII Remake a few months ago. And I, helped her, made sure she didn't see any weird scenes. And by the way, if anyone tells you that Final Fantasy VII Remake is too hard, you refer them to this video. My 5-year-old daughter finished FF7 Remake. I've been watching a lot of cutscenes, rewatching dialogue, and going over both Remake and Rebirth just for the sake of theory crafting, all this kind of stuff. However, I still haven't gotten the Platinum, and I'm very excited to go back and replay it from the start. I think actually I finished hard mode halfway through. So the first 5-6 chapters might not be a challenge because we already have everything done. But let's see. Just as a heads up, this will be a full spoiler playthrough. So the idea is that we are going back over the story and, well, if you have watched my channel, you now know what my position is on the FF7 Remake story. I think it's a reimagining. 2, it could still be a sequel, but I think that's like a 5% chance that's happening. And 3, I think that a lot of the mysteries are in Cloud's head and that the Beagle world is not as real as we might think it is. So there's all these dream worlds in Rebirth which are seemingly implying that, okay, the Beagle world then is the prime reality. I'm also challenging that notion that the Beagle world is the prime reality itself. So this has been my final, this is where I am today. However, it's very interesting to go back and replay Remake from the start because I think we might catch some stuff that either confirms or denies this. So really trying to go into this with a more of an open mind. Theory crafting discussions online tend to get very sterile. I really would love to take this to Twitch eventually if it picks up. If you want it to pick up, then you know what you have to do. Make sure you watch every single one of these episodes and share them around and subscribe and everything. I don't have the gear for it now, but if this takes up or takes off, I really would love to take this to Twitch and make sure that that conversation and live theory crafting while playing is done. I feel like every single creator there who plays Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth live are of a certain opinion, understandably, and I would just like to have us do a playthrough where we for a moment assume that this is all in Cloud's head. What could happen? We either confirm it, add more layers to it, change the overall theory when we end both playthroughs. I don't know. This is also a Platinum attempt, as I said, for both Remake and Rebirth. Very excited. It's been a while that I haven't played the game fully, so let's go. Oh, why is it giving me... No, hold on. Okay. Right. So I need to chapter select this thing. This will look weird. Sorry for this. Technical difficulties. Yes, proceed. All right, nice. And we're live. Need to deal with the volume. There is a lot in this opening video, by the way. Cutscene. A lot started with this eagle, bird, whatever you want it to be, being black and white feathered. Predominantly black though. And then Sephiroth's theme kicks in, and now you can see very clearly how this looks much more, you know, like a black silver Sephiroth-ish kind of color pattern. Flowers are already dying. Very important detail. We'll get back to it later. And this incredibly ominous detail. Well, unfortunately, there's no photo mode, but I'll try to put the image later. So, before we go into the second part, which is going to be much more classic Final Fantasy VII-esque, and it's going to be much less remake / Sephiroth / Jenova-esque, there is already a sense of unease when it comes to the opening cinematic. I think the music has been analyzed very well. The one-winged angel notes and choir singing is very clearly reminiscent of Sephiroth, and an ominous presence of both Sephiroth and Jenova. But a couple of details is, well, the black feathered bird, the flowers that are dying. Remember what the flowers or who the flowers are associated with. And the third detail, which is extremely important, is for me, and I was actually not able to point out until my wife brought it up when we were playing together, when she tried to play Remake, but she didn't like it. But she realized that those eyes, those little kid's eyes, that little girl, oh boy, I'm not sure, but those eyes are very Sephiroth-esque. Now listen, a lot of this is not necessarily meaning this is Sephiroth's world or Jenova's world, right? It's very easy to just take that and run with it and make that conclusion. However, it's very ominous, and it's implying that this version of the world is, one, different from how the OG opens up, and two, very much destined towards death. And I think this is an extremely important aspect, because if you remember the flowers which are dying there that we have just seen, this very much speaks to a planet that is actually doomed to fade or die or destined to doom, essentially. And the reason this is important is because when we will talk about aspects like Destiny later in Remake and Rebirth and define Destiny, we always have, as original players or OG players, this idea that Destiny refers to how the original game ended, and rightly so, because you have the Ultimanias talking about that when they are describing what the Whispers do, and even Hamaguchi recently has talked about it. But let's put that on the side for a second, because the Final Fantasy VII world and Gaia as a planet, going into even the OG, is actually doomed to die and fade. One of the reasons is the Mako power plants, as we will see, and the second reason is something that is not expanded on well at all in the original game, but that the novels, Advent Children, and Remake are expanding on very well, which is the corruption of deceased souls that is happening from the inside. Within the live stream, dead souls are not returning to the planet. Those which are angry are actually corrupted by Sephiroth and Jenova. It's very hard to make the distinction between the two, but this is happening in the background. It's below the surface. It's almost tainting the live stream. And if live stream black, or the black side of the live stream, was representing 10% of the live stream as a whole at one point, you could imagine this gradually rising to 25, 35, and then 50. And then once it's more than 50%, then more than half the world is corrupted and angry and wants revenge and wants destruction. And who are those teams associated with? Sephiroth and Jenova. So there is something brewing in the background already. And you see Aerith will say that later on, in the sense that the real enemy is not the Shinra Power Company. Humans are sort of destroying the planet, but they are not the only threat. So when we talk about Destiny, are we protecting or are we defying the destiny of the planet saving itself, which we thought we were protecting at the end of Remake, and we will see it in this playthrough? Or are we actually protecting a destiny where the planet starts as being doomed to fade and die? And does that explain Sephiroth's words to Cloud at the edge of creation? Let us defy destiny together. I will not end, nor will I have you end. Our planet will become a part of it one day, but I want to save this planet. Please, dear Cloud, help me. So we might change our perception on what the destiny that is being defied is. why does Red 13 say what he says is something I don't have an answer to at this point. I have speculation, just like everything in terms of theory, but I don't have a satisfying answer because my most likely answers all presume that it's a lot of deception going on. And I am aware that people don't like that in a game based on deception. But okay, this was a very long monologue. I feel that it's very important to introduce this because that opening intro is so layered. And we will see in Aerith's cutscene what is going to happen as well. What we have done here is we've gone back from something that was a bit more reassuring to an ominous presence. That is one winged angel, again, being, you know, the choir singing it in the background. And this world is still doomed to fate. Flowers are dying. This is unfamiliar territory for Aerith. Something's wrong. I have a lot to say, but I'm waiting for this masterpiece to finish. Alright, before we go into this, because music is going to switch and then we're going to be all hyped and pumped up. I don't know what it is with the Final Fantasy VII intro. Full disclosure, I'm a Final Fantasy VIII fan first before becoming a Final Fantasy VII fan. But Paul says, yo, I'm not sure if people can hear me here. However, it's iconic, but at the same time, every time you go through it, it just feels as emotional as the first time. Now, there's a lot of nostalgia with it, both towards the OG and the remake when it was released and, you know, we were all like little kids playing it. However, I don't know, it just hits all the emotional chords every single freaking time. And I don't know, you have to stop and take in that music transition from what was now ominous and then went back into a bit more reassuring. And then you are back to, once again, the more joyous themes. I'm sorry here because I'm actually doing this live so that I have the video footage. But people are interacting while I'm not on camera or microphone. And I don't want to be like mean and not answer. But at the same time, I was not planning on answering, so I have no idea how I'm going to do this. Paul, I am so sorry. I see you, but I can't answer. I'm not sure if you are hearing me or if you're seeing. I'm going to have to plug in my microphone next time into the PS5. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Okay, well, I'm just going to answer Paul. All right. So this intro just hits all the right chords. All right, let's go. badass, Jesse.
Get down here, Merc.
Most iconic introduction ever in video game history. And you go straight into gameplay mode. This is crazy. Even in 2025, this still feels weird. And I haven't finished Final Fantasy 16 yet. And it's crazy that I don't think it's as seamless as this. Something like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth are exceptionally good at making that transition between cutscene and gameplay seamless. And it's something that I haven't found in a lot of games.
You're up.
I'm trying to remember which games had something like this.
You're coming with us. Nice and easy.
I'm not sure about that. Alright. So, a couple of things is I would like to check my shortcuts, but we are on Braver, Focus Trust, Triple Slash, and Infinity's End. Ascension is good. Obligatory materia check. We do need a lightning on attack. And first strike is pretty useful. Don't know about revival. Well, might come in handy. Is there like a auto cure thing in Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was very... I don't think we had it in Rebirth. Well, that's not going to be easy to find with the amount of materia I have. Okay. Does it have to be paired with Final Fantasy... Does it have to be paired with the cure materia? No. It's just on its own. So ATB Stagger is good. Revival. Just keep it there for now. Do I have 2 healing materials? No. Assess is pretty useful. Bahamut. Do I change Bahamut with someone? No. Bahamut is good. And we don't have... Well, we don't have Ramuh yet, right? So this is alright. It's always very confusing going back to FF7 Remake after Rebirth because, well, the gear is different, but the gameplay as well.
Who in the hell? Hands where I can see them.
I have to admit that Remakes
Have fun.
battle that looks outdated, but when you have seen how snappy Rebirth's gameplay and battle is, you're like, okay, this is a completely different level. Never in doubt. Alright, cool. Couple of Easter eggs. Clear Icicle is something we're gonna see a lot. See the world through her eyes. 7. And a cat. It's interesting. Hair tonic. I know that a lot of this has been referenced in other entries in the compilation, actually. So I'm not gonna try to overanalyze it too much, unless I find something interesting. Music lovers. There's this Benora apple thingy, which is in Crisis Core, in case you haven't played it. Okay, cool.
Drop the weapon.
You got this.
Yeah, what he said. You're coming with us.
Get that out of here. Sector 1 station. We work hard, so you can live well. What we do for Midgar and for you. This is going to be an extremely slow playthrough. So, the first time you see Beagle is actually here, which is interesting enough, right? You can already see it. We can't do anything to it, but there's always, I think, been a question on what's the earliest you can see Beagle. I don't think you can see a Beagle stamp anywhere before. That would be kind of strange. I remember going back to Crisis Core Reunion and going through the station in its entirety looking for a Beagle, because that would have been the most logical thing to do if there was any connection or any hint they wanted to give us, but I haven't been able to. And I'm sure people have done a free roam kind of thing to check these things out. I unfortunately can't do that on the PS5 So let's keep going. As I said, this will be extremely slow playthrough. I'm sorry for that, but this is very much a spot any kind of detail experience. We wanna discover new things and change our perspective. Inventory is full, of course. I haven't used anything in my normal mode playthrough. I've been hogging items, and the result is that I'm left with a million items in hard mode which I can't use. Classic Final Fantasy thing. The Adventures of Stamp, Book 3. So, this is extremely important because if you look at the White Labrador, it has a white bandage on its hand, right? And now we can do our good old photo mode. So you can see this thing on Cloud's arm, and if you go and you look at the Labrador, it has the same thing. Now, there is fire at the back, which is very Sephiroth Nibelheim-esque. And then someone is carrying this beagle, this Labrador, which we could associate with Cloud. And the interesting thing is that if you look at the same stamp, corresponding figure or poster in the Chihuahua world, which is Aerith's dream date, you can spot the Spitz or Chihuahua carrying the Labrador exactly like in this one. And that's a 3-star world. So it makes you think about who is carrying Cloud. So, by the way, this insinuates or implies that Cloud is unconscious? Is that the case? Because his eyes are closed. And you wonder if what is carrying the unconscious Labrador, which is possibly in association with Cloud, is what his consciousness is trying to figure out. So is this beagle, in this case, carrying Cloud while he is not back to his full consciousness, or while he is not back to his true self, which is an important thing. The true self, those two words, is something that I would like to talk about later. So this gets me thinking, why is that beagle carrying Labrador? Because if Beagle is Cloud's world, if Beagle is Cloud's reality, you would wonder why would he be carrying a Labrador who should represent Cloud? So it doesn't add up. However, if Cloud is unconscious and Beagle is his unconscious carrying his conscious, that suddenly sounds interesting. Why is it a Beagle? Why is it a Terrier? Why is it a Chihuahua? We will get into that when we get to Rebirth. However, remember how ominous the intro was, and the implication that something's not quite right with this world, starting with some entities that we will encounter in Chapter 2.
So what's Soldier Boy's deal? Is he one of us now? He's got balls, this, what was his name again?
Cloud Strife.
Right.
And he isn't a soldier anymore. Still, he's a professional, unlike the rest of us. I'm glad to have him.
This is a one-time gig. When it's done, we're done.
It's interesting to go back after the end of Rebirth, again, even the end of Remake, and see how, well, I'm gonna let Jesse yearn. It's interesting to see how Cloud changes, how much he grows. And it's extremely important because this version of Cloud that we see here and how he starts answering or interacting with Avalanche is very much disconnected from them in a sense of being human, if that makes sense. He doesn't really connect with them. He's not just not nice to be around. He acts like a douchebag to them. And so that growth is not only because he gets to know them more, because you will see that with he's very much cold to everyone except Tifa, I believe. Even with Aerith, he's like, I'm involved in dangerous things, which is one of the funniest lines of dialogue. And we'll get to it. But it's not only about how much he knows these people by the end of the game. It's actually about Cloud's internal journey to find his true self. We are back to those two words again. Because the assumption is that this person here, who we're playing as, is not Cloud. This is a shell that walked into Midgar and was blank and empty and was broken by trauma and had Genova cells inside of it. Reconnecting with Tifa gives him some sort of memories of himself through Tifa, along with Zack's personality and whatever Genova cells can do to him. So this is someone who is in the body of Cloud, but is not Cloud. This is a conscious, an ego. Let's talk about that in a minute. This is an ego that is not the real self of Cloud. And people like to talk about Carl Jung's theories and how Nojima is using them. A very interesting aspect that I've seen is that people only talk about the collective unconscious when talking about Carl Jung. But Carl Jung's most important theory, from the very little that I have researched, by the way, is not only the collective unconscious, it's the psyche and the model of the psyche, the personal mind, and what he calls that path or that journey of going from a complete disconnect between your ego, who you show on the outside, and the real thing that you're repressing on the inside in your unconscious. And that journey leads to narrowing that gap. And what he calls individuation is eventually the process of finding yourself again, returning to yourself. It's actually the death of this fake ego, burying it, being humble, and eventually figuring out your real self. And you can only do that if you dive in your unconscious, because your unconscious includes everything you have experienced in your life, and it has access to the collective unconscious. I think this is how things are linked. And I've seen people talk about the planet as the model of the psyche applied to the planet, which is great. I'm all for that idea. I think it's great. But I haven't seen a lot of people apply the model of the psyche from Carl Jung on Cloud. So this is the ego of Cloud. The real self of Cloud is buried under, and this ego actually is completely disconnected from his unconscious or from his real self, because it's taken over by Genova cells at moments, because it's fake and it's based on partly fake memories. So the only thing I want us to remember going into this is not Cloud. So that growth that he will show in terms of connecting more with people will not only be because he knows them, but also because he potentially connects back with his true self inside his own unconscious, who is the real Cloud. So the real Cloud is somewhere, probably the one we see in the white space in a couple of chapters. We'll talk about that then. But it's not this person. He acts like Cloud at times. I'm sure that the real Cloud resurfaces at moments, right? But this is not him. Oh my god, this is going to be extremely long. I just realized that if I keep talking about this in every chapter, every scene, we're never going to get to the Scorpion fight for like another 5 hours. Which is fine. We're enjoying this.
Nobody do something this crazy just for money. They may not think you're a true believer, but you know what I think?
Not interested.
What?
Wedge. You better be worth the money, Merc. Every last gil.
I posted this on Twitter a few weeks ago, but the real change in Remake is that they didn't tell. Barret doesn't say, press circle to walk while you're running, or something like that. Dude, this OST slaps. We haven't checked the environment for any stamps. I'm not sure what that is, by the way. A lot of these assets are repeated throughout the whole game. Okay, I'm not gonna make you wait more. Let's go ahead with a couple of guard dogs fights.
Guess you're first.
You know
Get
what?
ready.
Let's just Punisher mode your butt.
Floppy.
You were asking for it, bro.
You're mine.
Get away from here.
Looks like you're next.
Another thing that is very difficult-ish to get used to when replaying Remake after Rebirth is the parry mechanic. And I actually don't remember whether Remake has it. It has any materia that you can use for that. Which I don't think so. I think it has a materia where you parry while moving or something like that. It's been so long, I'm gonna have to check it out. Oh, well, you're cooked.
Was never in doubt.
Cocky Cloud is so funny. So out of character, man. Even after the end of Rebirth, he looks like a completely different person compared to this.
Hey, Cloud! Elevator's over there! Catch up soon!
That we will. Oh, okay, so magic is going to be important. MP is going to be important. Completely forgot about that. We're playing hard mode. We have to save our MP. I haven't used any magic so far, but the first chapter ends after Scorpion, so I think as much lightning as possible during the Scorpion fight is going to be okay. Hey, yeah, you guys are just going to trick me, right?
This way.
I remember that in some of the speedruns you can actually walk in front of them or something like that. I've never done any speedrun, I was just watching them.
Not so fast. We've got company.
Oh, of course we do.
This will be quick.
Come on.
Shit!
You're done.
Oh, they're dead. I thought they were still there.
Nothing to it.
I don't think there's anything as efficient as waiting for someone to attack you and then just triple slashing everyone. When it comes to these silly ass fights, of course. Nope.
Here we go. Let's go.
Who are you talking to, Cloud? Your inner shadow, Sephiroth.
I'll secure our escape route, okay? You go on and catch up with the others.
Cheers.
Keep them safe, please.
Soldiers may attack on command, but I hear they make good guard dogs too. Bet you've seen a few reactors. So how do we get to the bridge above Mako storage? Ain't holding out on me, are you? Stamp scared to bite the hand that fed him? Or is he a loyal little doggy? Have it your way, Mutt. We can do this with you, or we can do this without you.
Different reactor, different layout. Depends when it was built. Never seen one like this, but I'll manage.
So a couple of things here. The first one is that this effect of Cloud, well, the green screen and then Cloud holding his head, which will happen a lot in both games, apparently has been called in the Edge of Creation. If you go back and you watch the original Japanese script from the Edge of Creation scene in Remake, it says that Cloud splits. And this is interesting because multiple clouds is something that is integral even to the original game arc of Cloud, and that's what he and Tifa go and figure out in the live stream. So it makes you think if these green glitches split his personality, or when you have contradictory information in this sense, Cloud not... Well, he has been an infantryman. I do wonder if he has been in reactors, right? Well, he was in the Nibelheim reactor. But he tells him, yeah, Shinra soldiers make good guard, blah, 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 blah. So you are supposed to be a soldier, so you're supposed to know this information. And that's a contradictory information with Cloud. So green glitches is something that is very much associated with Cloud's personalities, or the egos, which are clashing, the aspects of the unconscious that are clashing inside of his personality being built. So this shell of a body is hosting three different personalities. Cloud, Zack, and Sephiroth, or at least the influence of Sephiroth. And those are not consistent with each other. So whenever there is something that breaks that consistency, he is going to have these episodes. And the word split is specifically important because Cloud's arc being just different clouds that are split across the live stream and his unconscious, which will be reunited into one consistent cloud, is something that is extremely consistent thematically with both the original and Cloud and the worlds, or whatever this multiverse that people wanted to believe, or that they wanted us to believe, is at this point in Remake and Rebirth. It mirrors those worlds, which makes you think, are those worlds really worlds, or are they experiences of Cloud's unconscious or conscious? We don't know. Now let's go hit on Jesse.
Biggs will have the door open soon. Don't you worry. Biggs will have the door open soon.
In 3, 2... Damn, I'm good.
Oh, this is the most aura farming ever.
Door! Whoa, wait! It's over!
That's my line.
He's alone! We can take it!
This arrogance is not Cloud-esque. He looks so fake doing it. Obviously, when you don't know Cloud, you think that, oh, okay, this guy's badass. Is it Sephiroth-esque? I don't know. Pre-Nibelheim Sephiroth isn't that... I mean, he's arrogant, but he's arrogant in a way of, listen, we all know there is nothing you can ever do to beat me, and I will kill everyone here with one slash of a sword. So he's arrogant in that way of, let's just keep it fun for everyone and safe for everyone, so please don't cross me. Cloud is arrogant in a way of, I want to prove myself to you. I'm so strong. You know, whatever that is. What is Barret saying?
Simmer down, hotshot.
Yeah, I know. Alright.
It's a good thing I know someone who can get us the passcodes.
Bet you do.
Pity no one else at command will talk to us, but what can you do? And we're good.
Careful in there. I got this place covered.
What are you covering, bro? Like, literally, we just wiped everything from there. I'm waiting for you to...
I got this place covered.
Whatever. Okay. Now, a very interesting detail. Notice how these outfits are here. Right when Jesse said, good thing that I know someone who can get us the passcodes. Remember the chapter 3 or 4 Jesse mission that we will have to go into her house and steal the reactor keycard. Remember the outfit that we will find there? I think it's a really nice touch that when she says that, it's a bit foreshadowing that she's able to access this area because her father, I'm not sure they specify which reactor he was working in, but it's a very nice touch.
Looks like the elevator's on another floor. Mind pushing that button?
You're just bossing me around now.
Security is only gonna get tighter, so be ready. We can't afford any more mistakes.
The mistake was you not walking into that. But anyways.
So, you know Tifa, right? It's not really my business, but are you guys close?
green effect. It's like the real Cloud is like, come here, let me show you who Tifa is. Because you don't know her, you're not the real Cloud. Let me show you who Tifa is so that you don't act like you don't know what you're talking about.
Cloud! Are you ignoring me?
Tifa and I...
Dude, Barret is just like... Barret is just mean without purpose. Like, when my wife was playing Remake, and I was watching it with her, like her first playthrough, I think she stopped after the middle of chapter 2. She got back to Sector 7, and she was like, no, I'm not doing this. But she pointed out to me that Barret is extremely, like, annoying. And I had never realized it. And I went back and watched him in Japanese, and it's a whole nother level of annoying in the original. So I guess it's intended, and we know it from the original game that he was very, very annoying, right? One thing that I wanted to point out on Tifa's memory is what this sets up is the general feeling you get from after that vision is Cloud is not happy or is not, at peace with his memories regarding Tifa from their childhood. The general feeling he goes out with from that specific scene is Tifa was interested in me or wanted us to play together, and I was mean to her and I just ignored her. And I think this is something that Cloud will have to, that sets up Cloud fighting this feeling and basically remembering that he did not, or that he was not that cold. I'm not sure if this specific event represents his exact reaction, but then we also had that green effect at the beginning where his body splits again, and it felt like, hey, body of Cloud, come here, let me show you who Tifa is, almost, because you don't remember who she is, you're just a body. And it's very interesting because Cloud does not only have to remember who he is, he also has to get rid of false memories of not being there for Tifa. And the guilt that is associated with her falling from the mountain in Mount Nebel, and her and herself, which led to Cloud being isolated and blamed for that. So this sets up the fact that he is blaming himself, or he is at least feeling that he was not nice to Tifa.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir. We are currently investigating whether they belong to the same group that made the attempt on your life. Rest assured, our inquiries will not take much longer. This pump's sole purpose is to drain the planet dry. While you sleep, while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Mako. It doesn't rest, and it doesn't care. You do realize what Mako is, don't you? Mako is the lifeblood of our world. The planet bleeds green like you and me bleed red. The hell you think's gonna happen when it's all gone, huh? Answer me! You gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the planet crying out in pain? I know you can!
You really hear that?
Damn straight I do!
Get help.
Well, Cloud Buddy, I have news for you. By the end of this game, you will be the first person to complain about being tired of hearing those voices inside your own head. So, again, very cocky and disconnected from reality of you.
Say that again!
I'd worry less about the planet and more about the next 5 seconds. Save the screaming for later.
Our lives are on the line now. listening, Merc? One false move. And that happens.
Well, so much for having Cloud do all the fighting. There are some places a sword just can't reach. Just bear with him for me, would you?
Yeah.
Should have asked for more money.
So annoying.
Gonna throw your sword at him? Let the man with the gun do the work. These
The
tin
man with the
cans
gun.
ain't got nothing on me.
Dun 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 dun. Oh,
Fire it one off.
oh, oh my God! These guys are like hitting me way more than I would like.
Now for the real show.
Oh, get away from here. Okay,
Do your job first.
Shut up and move over.
okay, we're done here.
Hey, did you see me in action?
Must have missed it.
It's funny because Barret is like all cold, not cold, but it's like he doesn't trust Cloud and stuff, and he's like, you know, he's tempting him all the time, but then he's like, hey, do you see me in action? He still wants validation. Poor Barret.
Look what we have here.
A laser security system. Great.
Those things will hurt more than your pride if you're careless. They'll cut you down to size and then some. But I'm guessing you've done this kind of thing before.
Yeah. Figure out the timing of the lasers. Then, make a move when they cycle off.
Exactly. I'll go first. Nothing like a little danger to get the blood pumping.
Hey!
Just keep those baby blues of yours on me.
Oh God. Now listen, I know that this is a 2020 game and the PS4, and we're like served very well with the loading screens here being much, you know, much slower, much quicker. However, I will never understand what the purpose of this mini game is. It's not even that challenging. Well, I say that and Barret just goes and gets hit, and I also do. But like, I don't know if the purpose is just like make you. I know that it's like make you get used to the movements and use R2 and run around and this kind of stuff. But it's just felt very weird in the sense that, hey, why are we having to do this? Why are these lasers here to begin with? Oh. Oh my God, I was late. It's alright. I also wonder if he's like... I think he purposefully moves slowly, right? So like if you're here and you try to speed up, you know... Oh no, it's the same motion. I thought that it like makes him go slower, close to it, just so that it's a bit more challenging, but probably not the case. Let's see what's up next. Okay, patterns. Oh my God. Okay. Okay.
Nice job, Cloud.
I say what's the purpose of this minigame, or like whatever it was. It's not even a minigame, and I got my...
Well, I'm glad that.
I got like 5% of my health wiped out because of that.
Look. They don't call those things sweepers for nothing. They can wipe out a whole squad in seconds.
Not if you wipe the floor with them first.
It's like... Oh my God. Cocky
That
Cloud
hunk of
is...
junk is a heavy weapons platform. If we rush in, we die.
Is that right?
Need to hit it with magic. That should give us an opening.
He doesn't even make sense within himself. He says, not if you wipe the floor with them first. And then Barret is like, yeah, the hunk of junk. And he's like, that hunk of junk is strong. Be careful. You don't make sense, Cloud. I haven't even checked Barret's gear. It's alright. Should be good. Boom.
Now's our chance. Go.
Infinities and
Tell me twice. I'm gonna enjoy this.
should be done by now. Wait. He's gonna blow up. Okay. I don't remember if blowing up does anything to your health.
First. Huh? Soldier first class. Doesn't go into the 20s.
What the hell you talking about? I mean your age, not your goddamn rank.
I,
No I know. A soldier's rank could be the same as his age. Mm-hmm. Guess that make you a 1-year-old, huh? Live and learn.
The best thing to do in this dialogue is, is to just have Cloud stand there and look at Barret. It's like, I'm not even gonna comment on that. And for all the discourse on localization, which I'm not saying is doing a bad job, by the way, it's just that there are things that are seemingly more complicated than they are in the original Japanese script. Having to translate some of these jokes to other languages is way more difficult than it seems. So I think I checked it out in French and it was actually good. Any bonus stuff here? No. Alright, I don't think we're going to be able to go further than this. We will probably have to stop this portion here.
That's our target, the reactor core. Gotta set
and
the
then finish
bomb
later.
at the bottom. Let's get down there.
We will, don't worry. So, a couple of things I want to check out is Barret's gear. I would love the next one to be a standalone episode, which is great. Well, thanks a lot for tuning in. And in the next one, we're going to attempt to kill the Scorpio.